afternoon and welcome to Across the Fence. I'm Jolie Whitney. April is National Volunteer Month, and even though there are only a couple days left in the month, it's never too late to celebrate volunteers. According to the University of Vermont Extension, in 2023, 1,885 individuals donated 24,850 hours of their time to UVM Extension programs, from 4-H to the expanded food and nutrition program. Extension reports that this time is valued at $746,494. In addition, 281 volunteers of UVM Extension's community horticulture program, like Master Gardeners, contributed 10,642 hours, valued at $303,723. Combined, that amount is worth over $1 million. This effort directly served 11,439 Vermonters. The work of volunteers is often taken for granted and unheralded. Today on Across the Fence, we hope to correct that. Joining me to talk about volunteering are Amanda Gifford and Karen Burke. Amanda is the co-leader of the High Hopes 4-H Club in Fairfax, and Karen Burke is a master gardener from Colchester who has established and maintained gardens at the Colchester Public Library. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Amanda, let's start with you. Can you tell me about the High Hopes 4-H program?
The High Hopes 4-H Club is a community club. We take kids from any community that are ages 5 to 18, and we do all kinds of different projects. So not just gardening, but we do some gardening, but also engineering, aerospace, zoology, vet science, horses, poultry, you name it, we do it.
So a variety of things.
A variety of things, yes.
And how often do you guys meet?
We meet once a week, and we have a business meeting where the kids learn parliamentary procedure. It's like town meeting every month. And then we have 4 different projects that go on throughout the month.
So it sounds like part of a focus is some community engagement, having
yes.
a lot of meetings like that. That's great.
Yeah.
And Karen, what made you decide to be a master gardener?
Well, I had been very busy during my work life, and when I retired, I was kind of at loose ends. I'd always been gardening, but I wanted to learn more, and the Master Gardener course helped me with both of those.
And you said the Master Gardener course. Can you tell me a little more about that?
It's equivalent to a 3-credit, 1-semester college level course. So there's lectures, reading, discussion, and a test.
And some of the ways to become a master gardener involve volunteering and some don't, but you obviously took the volunteering route. Why did you decide to go that way?
Well, I like being useful, and the mission of the Master Gardener program is to teach home gardeners. So that's what I wanted to do.
Absolutely. I'm sure so many people appreciate having some hands-on plant advice. I know I always do.
And we teach about, I'm also very concerned about the environment, and the Master Gardeners teach about integrated pest management, composting, and mixing flowers with vegetables to encourage beneficial insects. So a real concern about the environment.
Yeah, that's great. And this is kind of a big question, and I'll ask both of you. We'll start with Amanda. Why volunteer?
Because it makes you feel good. Schools are so busy. There's so much they have to learn. Kids need another role model in their lives, and they really appreciate knowing their role model is volunteering, that I'm not getting paid for that. It makes them realize that I do it for them. And, kids are great, so
and
why
I'm sure
not?
Encourages them to give back.
Yes, yep. One of our favorite things to do is adopt a family that we do every holiday season. And the kids go out with their own spending money and they buy presents for others so that others know that they're cared for. And it's great. It makes me cry every year. So.
And Karen, you already kind of touched on this, but why are you volunteering?
It connects me with the community. I was really wrapped up in work, and I've been living in Colchester for 12 years now. I'd been in other parts of Chittenden County before, but it's really gotten me connected with the community.
And you mentioned just now that you were working, and obviously you're volunteering now that you're retired, but is it something that you think you could have done together, volunteered and work?
Well, I did do some volunteering when I was working. I helped in my kids' school when they were in the primary grades, and I did some international health work, but I couldn't have committed to every week.
Mm-hmm. And this is again for both of you, now that you're committing more of your time, how much time do you spend a week?
Somewhere between 20 minutes and 20 hours.
A variety then. As a master gardener, does that change with the season?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So in the winter, I just take care of the house plants in the library and give an occasional talk. We had a workshop on repotting plants just a few weeks ago. And in the summer, there's maintaining the gardens, and there's giving more talks, so a lot more to do.
And Amanda, you were saying before the show you actually run your own farm, so how much time are you able to commit a week?
I volunteer 2 to 15 hours a week. 2 hours every week because we have a meeting every week. And it depends on how much prep time I need, whether I know the topic that I'm supposed to be teaching or not. Kids are so smart that I have to study ahead of time to get ahead of them. So, yeah.
Wow. So is it a lot of you learning to help them learn?
Yes. Oh, yes. And I am not afraid to say, I have no idea. Let's find that answer. And that's also really important for them to know that adults don't have every answer. That we have to go looking as well.
That's a great point.
So, yeah.
And did both of you or either of you decide to start volunteering because you felt like you needed to give back or pay something forward? We can start with you, Karen.
Well, I think it's important to be a good citizen, but I don't think of it as paying back any thing. I just think it's part of what you're supposed to do.
Sure. And how about you?
And I think I volunteer for me almost more than anything else because it makes me feel good. And in this world, there's so much hostility that if we can, be positive in our lives, it's helpful. Makes you feel better. So.
And Karen, we have some photos from an event that you did with the library in Colchester, which we mentioned earlier. And how have you worked with library staff to set up pollinator gardens?
The director of the library, Kelly McCaig, has been very supportive. And Susan Bliss is the librarian tasked with community outreach. She and I think of projects, and she puts it on the schedule and sets things up, and then I do the prep and the talking. And the Friends of the Burnham Library have been helpful with funding.
That's incredible. And you also talk about invasive species at the library. Is that something where you're doing an educating component as well?
Oh yeah, I give a talk at least a half dozen times during the year, and on one of the, when I was working, and so that we had, the Master Gardeners has a website and email, a group email, and so I tell the group what is coming up, and then that gets people interested in my projects, and then the volunteers encourage me to do more and more. We were working on the pollinator garden and had a little bit of extra time, so they said, these Japanese barberry are invasive, we should take them out. And so we did, and replaced them with nativars, and then they went to a different part of the library grounds and said, burning bush, you shouldn't have that. The town is going to help us take those out this month, and then we'll replace them with native shrubs.
Nice, so it's also a hands-on component to what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the shrubs we get from the Winooski Valley Conservation District. And
it also sounds like so we were talking about the pollinator garden, but there's also a sensory garden. Can you talk about that for a little?
Yeah, we had been working for a while with the pollinator garden, and then somebody on the board of the library said, could we have a sensory garden? And I said, yes. And 2 weeks later, we did. But the sensory garden is particularly plants that have a stronger smell or a different texture, or some of them are edible, though I specifically put a sign out that only let them eat the strawberries, not the herbs, because I didn't want any confusion about what was edible and what wasn't. And the grasses make a little bit of extra noise in the breeze. So
nice, something for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah.
And Amanda, working with 4-H, so many people see that as a way for kids to kind of get out in the community and meet friends and talk to people. How important is that in your work?
It's very important. I think it's also very important because we have mixed ages. And in school, you go through with the same kids and the same ages and the same developmental stages. So I very often have to remind the teens that, think about, is that joke appropriate for a 6-year-old? And it's not that they're being rude, it's just, teen humor is different. So they have to stop and think about, others who aren't exactly like themselves. Two of my teens had so much fun purchasing gifts for babies at our adoptive families. So finding that all ages is really important for them. So.
And a lot of 4-H is things like fairs and field days. How is that
Yeah.
something you prepare the kids to do?
Oh, we do practice. We show our chickens at the fair, and that's a lot of fun because it's easy to take them to the fair, and they have to learn about how to present themselves and how to speak. So, you know, what to wear and how to carry themselves, and it's really good life training. They do posters and presentations for the fair as well that are things that if you have a retail job, you have to do a window display or some such. And it's really great life skills training. So,
Absolutely.
Preparing for the fair is a lot of fun.
And for both of you, if somebody was considering volunteering some of their own time, what would you recommend? Karen?
Oh, it's fun, and it connects you with the community, and I think it's great.
And I would say go to the UVM Extension website, and you know,
Yes.
because
I'll have that up in a second as well.
okay, yeah. But that is, you know, I encourage all kinds of people to get out there and try. And people are intimidated by, oh my goodness, I couldn't be a leader. I don't know anything about that. I said, well, yeah, you can. You know, and there's support. And there's great extension staff to help us do what we need to do to make the lives of the kids better.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as Amanda just mentioned, if you'd like to volunteer your time to a 4-H or Master Gardeners program, visit the UVM Extension website for more details. That takes care of our events for today. My thanks to everyone behind the scenes here at Channel 3 for making this program possible. I'm Jolie Whitney. Have a good one.